Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. And as always, we'll start with EVE Online. Last week has been pretty interesting, especially the dev blog about the changes to the mining foreman profession. So the Orca, Rorcal and then the new Porpoise battle cruiser that are specialized around boosting mining fleets get a very nice mining buff themselves, so you can actually see yourself use any of these ships in a mining belt, especially the Orca and the Rorcal, of course. I think the general vibe is that this is pretty positive, but not too good for the mineral prices, because the Rorcal gets an incredible boost if he goes for or risks full yield. 18,400 cubic meters per minute is pretty damn crazy, and so we'll have to see. The impact on Zydran and Megasite is already there. Those have been dropping quite quickly. For Isaac minerals, because they're so bulky, I think it will be a lot better. I don't think that nullsec powers are going to start to massively export feldspar or compressed feldspar or anything like that to Cheetah. But of course the nullsec minerals that pay up more will probably see a pretty major dip. On the other hand, of course, I think some people are, like myself, are expecting the changes with alpha clones to maybe balance this out a little bit with more demand of Tech 1 ships. So we'll see how all of that plays out, but these are definitely interesting times when it comes to EVE Online. I'm personally hoping for a dev blog on the engineering race next week. If not next week, then hopefully the week after that. But that is definitely for me a pretty important dev blog as well, so that I can start planning more precisely what I'm going to do up to the November release. We don't have a date just yet, but I think from the updates timeline that we do know it's going to be after EVE Vegas. And so if we look at the timings on the EVE updates website, I'm personally expecting the 22nd of November to be the November release. So we'll see if it's right or not, but that basically does give us almost 2 months to get ready. So I think it's looking pretty good. When it comes to playing EVE Online, I think I played around average, just a normal amount of EVE Online. I actually did a little bit of mining in the skiff as well, and I must say it's better than I first experienced, because I found out that I was mining Pyroxeres with Plagioclase mining crystals. That of course makes for a pretty slow experience, but I switched to some Kernite crystals for mining Kernite, and that makes it a lot better. It's actually not all that far away from the Mackinac. You do have to do a lot more trips because the hold is only 15,000 cubic meters compared to the 35,000 for the Mackinac, but it's okay. A full hold is 2.5 million. Do that 4 times, you've got 10 million. So you've got a pretty good idea about what it takes to mine in a skiff, what that's going to make you. And it's not as bad as what you're experiencing when you take the wrong crystals, of course. Next to that, I kept up with my blueprint copy business. I had a few really good days when it comes to that, with 12, 13 sales in a single session. A session is like almost 3 days, which is what it takes for me to make another set of blueprint copies, and then I switch those off to I bring those to Cheetah. I do another round of sales, and so on 2 of those I had like 12 or 13 new contracts to make. So that was pretty damn good, although at the moment it feels like it's slowing down again already. So hopefully I'm wrong on that. Hopefully people are actively buying more of these blueprint copies in preparation of the industrial arrays or engineering arrays, and hopefully I'll be able to make a little bit more ISK from that. But I have such a big backlog of these blueprint copies that I'm actually switching back to some active research for like 10 days, 11 days, which I should still be able to do before the November release. And that's where my research is going to now, because I can probably just try to sell the blueprint copies that I have at the moment in Cheetah up until the November release, and from that point on we'll see how everything evolves, of course. Anything else? The Alliance tournament is on. I'm trying to follow as many matches as I can, but I'm also pretty damn busy at the moment. But yeah, I do try to tune into the Alliance tournament whenever I find a little bit of time. It's pretty interesting, pretty good quality as well, and I like CCP Antiquarian myself. I think he's an absolutely great host. And other than that, honestly, we're just waiting for more information, more stuff to come out on CC. The new explosions are there. That's pretty cool as well. Hopefully we'll see like a mass test where we can see stuff blow up with the new explosions. I think it looks really cool, and it could change the looks of PvE content as well a little bit with those fancy new explosions. But CCP is working hard on the November release. Stuff is starting to come out on CC. We're getting more dev blogs, so very interesting time in EVE Online at the moment, and I look forward to more of this. Next up, we've got some Elder Scrolls Legends. I'm still keeping up with the Elder Scrolls Legends. I'm now focusing a little bit on gathering right quests so that I can get through the free-to-play part of the game on maybe 2 or 3 sessions a week. So I save 2-3 quests and then just try to complete them in one go, which tends to work pretty well. I think in 40 minutes I managed to complete 3 quests, so that it was like win 3 games. The other one was play 30 creatures of 3 or less, very easy quest to complete. And then the final one was I think it was deploy 10 creatures with charge, which you can easily build a deck around that. And in this way, the Elder Scrolls Legends doesn't take that much time. You can still make the progress that you can possibly make as a free-to-play player. And as long as you're not too worried about your rank, you're not too worried about having really good or complete arenas or anything like that, you can enjoy this game for free. And for me, it's a pretty nice experience. I keep up with it. I check my quests daily so that I can basically switch out the ones that I don't like, and then when I reach 2 or 3 interesting ones where I feel like, okay, now it's time for a little bit of an Elder Scrolls Legends session, I play a couple of games, go through the motions, gather the gold, and if I find more time, which at the moment, honestly, with all the EVE Online stuff, I don't have a lot of extra time, I'll jump into some extra arenas. But at the moment, it's maintenance mode in the Elder Scrolls Legends. Just get my daily quest done, gather my gold, and be ready for whatever comes next in the game. I'm personally pretty curious to see how Bethesda is going to handle stuff like expansions, adding more cards, trying to monetize the game. You know, at the moment they're probably trying to just monetize the game from people that are straight up buying card packs, maybe arena access. I don't think a lot of people invest in that, but straight up card packs. But at some point, of course, almost everyone is going to have most of the cards, then they'll need to come up with a business model. We'll see how that works out, of course. As I've said, when it comes to card games, I don't feel a lot of loyalty to these games. I'd rather try to enjoy them while I can without having to pay and check the games out. But at some point I do think that the business model is going to show up, be clear, and then I'll decide whether or not I want to spend more time in the Elder Scrolls Legends. For now, it's still a lot of fun for me. After that, a little bit of Overwatch, just a couple of games in the first half of the week. I actually found a little bit of time to do that. It's still fun. It's that turn off your stress, go shoot some people, and enjoy the experience. So quick in and out is how I'm playing Overwatch at the moment. What I like about Overwatch is the business model. So the one thing that I'm still curious about in the Elder Scrolls Legends, when it comes to Overwatch, it's just buy to play, and you'll get all the characters, you'll get all the maps, you get all the updates. I think that is perfect. That is a very good choice that Blizzard made when it comes to Overwatch. You know that the player base is not going to be divided by map packs. You also know that other players will not have more powerful characters or anything like that available to them by doing a purchase. Nope, everyone will get the characters, everyone will get all the map packs, and that made it a great buy. And it's probably one of the reasons why I can still easily go back to a little bit of Overwatch just to relax, play a few quick play games, and enjoy the game that way. At the moment, I think most of the patching is based around balancing the game, balancing the characters. I think Blizzard is really going pretty hard for esports status in Overwatch. They're investing a lot of effort in that, which is, I think, pretty good for the game. It does mean that new content will come out pretty slow, but that is typical for a Blizzard game. They don't come out with fresh content every week or every month or anything like that. They really take their time to polish everything, which, well, it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, of course, you have to wait a long time for new characters, for new maps and things like that. But on the other hand, as I've said, you know you'll get them, you know it's going to be Blizzard quality, and if they can get the esports scene to work well for Overwatch, then we know that the game will have a good longevity, which I think for casual players like myself means that we have a lot to look forward to, new characters, new maps as they come out. That just means that it's easy for me to not feel like I have to invest all my time in Overwatch, but to still jump in once in a while, just to play a couple of easy games, and then if new stuff starts to come out, I will of course jump back, check it all out, do a bit more Overwatch, a bit more actively, and see how the game evolves. But knowing that I've purchased the game and I'll have access to everything definitely helps to stay interested in the game for me. And then for the final game, we have the Elder Scrolls Online. I dove back into a little bit of Elder Scrolls at the end of the week because the 1 Tamriel patch was launched. So for me, it's gonna be a fresh start. You'll get the first video of that next week. And 1 Tamriel, honestly, I think it's a very good patch, a very interesting idea that they've implemented in the Elder Scrolls Online. Basically, whenever you go to another zone, your character gets leveled to that zone. It means that basically all the content in the game is accessible to you. They also took away restrictions when it comes to factions and guilds and things like that for creating groups, for doing content. So they've brought it a lot closer to an Elder Scrolls experience in an MMO form. I already loved the graphics, I already loved the atmosphere that the game has. All the quests are voice acted, which is great. When I first played through the Elder Scrolls Online on my Argonian sorcerer, I had a great time, I enjoyed it a lot, and I did see the potential of the game. I saw the right atmosphere, I did see myself playing and experiencing stories in Tamriel, in the Elder Scrolls universe. And now with this patch, I think it's even easier to do so. The big advantages, as I've said, is you can go anywhere if you don't want to do the early quests, if you want to start working for a different faction, if you want to do something completely crazy, go to a high level zone, start out there. You can actually do that, and I think that adds a lot to the atmosphere of this being an Elder Scrolls game. It still has its problems, its moments that will get you out of the experience, right? So you can sometimes do a quest, there's 20 other people doing the same quest, and for instance I had to incapacitate a guard in order to get past him through the door, and then you had a dozen people that were coming in and out of the door without being hindered by the guard. But of course those are some of the limitations that come with an MMO game. It's the same with the drops, right? You can have a mud crab drop a really good piece of armor, which is not something that you'll see in Skyrim, for instance, but all of that is part of the MMO mechanic. But yeah, story-wise, atmosphere-wise, graphics-wise, they're there. This is an Elder Scrolls experience. This patch just brings it one step closer to an Elder Scrolls experience. Now you can play in any zone. The enemies will always be to your level, so you will have a constant flow of XP, and which I think is going to be a really big advantage as well, is all the drops that you get and the quest rewards are also going up with your true level, so you will constantly increase your gear as well. The big disadvantage that I had experienced on the Argonian sorcerer was that at some points I was lagging behind and I couldn't go to a next zone, so I had to do a bit more questing inside the first zone, and on other occasions I was actually over leveled for the quests that I found, and then of course you know that the rewards you'll get for those quests will not be useful for you anymore, as you don't want to bother with them, but maybe you need the XP. Now you get a very smooth progression, I feel, that's going to allow you to level up your character, to make it the way you want it, but to experience whichever content you want at whatever time. And so I started a new character, a Khajiit, fresh start with one Tamriel, and I definitely am enjoying the game. I look forward to covering my experience there, and I actually think that this was a very good design choice, that this brings the Elder Scrolls Online that much closer to an actual Elder Scrolls experience in MMO form. So to me it all looks really good, definitely worth a revisit, and we'll see how long I can manage my interest in the Elder Scrolls Online, but it's definitely going to take a little bit from my time as well, because I'm enjoying it quite a lot. So that's going to be it for this Sunday recap, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.